It's very rare to find someone with the gift of prophecy, the true gift of prophecy, especially in a world such as this one. A false reality, an illusion littered with false prophets. And you or I may not be able to foretell that which is to come, but it doesn't absolve us of the responsibility to better understand the hallucination or the mirage that we live in, such that we should be able to see a couple of steps ahead. We're so arrogant and conceited, filled with so much hubris, we believe we're living in the wealthiest, richest, most technologically advanced time in all of history, at least from a global basis. And that might be true. But we have this mindset as if we know it all, or we know more than all the other civilizations of the past. That's all ancient history. And they were primitive. We are ascended. We have technologies that would absolutely dissolve, obliterate, and shame the inventions and innovations of the past. But here's what I can tell you for sure. Irrespective of our wealth, irrespective of our technological advancement, irrespective of the inventions and the innovations that this civilization has produced, we've been here before, and this ain't our first barbecue. Seen this movie before, know how it ends. We've had 36 to 38. We could argue the exact number, but 36 to 38, somewhere in there, somewhere in that range, civilizations that have gone through similar arcs as we have, and have been at a similar place for their place in time as we have, and have all risen and fallen. And you can mirror our civilization against those past civilizations. And just like those other civilizations, we're no different. We have risen, we will crest, we will peak, and we will fall. And we need to do our best for our people to ensure that we are living as an example for them, and to do so properly. Although we may not be prophets such that we have that gift that we could predict and know with certainty the events that are to befall us. We simply have to look at the past in order to know where the future leads. And so, I like to nourish my mind every day. Nourish my mind. Improve every single day. And not waste my time with distractions and diversions as much as I can. I'm imperfect like all human beings. And from time to time, I'll spend a small chunk of a day watching some mindless series. So maybe I'll spend at most 45 minutes a day, typically over dinner with my wife, watching a show. That's it. That's it. That's the extent of my diversion distraction. I spend the rest of my time deeply involved in enriching my mind and enriching my body, the temple that houses the breath of Yahuwah, the Ruach, the set-apart spirit. and nourishing my soul with the word, the way, the truth, and the life, the parables, the phrases, the stories, the teachings of Yahuwah, Yahusha, the Son of the Most High who saves, the Most High who delivers, the Most High who redeems. But that doesn't absolve us. Our salvation in Yahuwah, Yahusha, and getting right with Yahuwah, Yahusha, and being at peace and having that solace and that joy and forgiveness and that healing doesn't absolve us from improving our bodies, which is again the temple for the breath of Yahuwah. He created us in his image. We need to do reverence. We must do reverence. We must honor him by honoring his temple, for he lives within us, but also to improve the mind. And the way we do that, the way I do it, because we only have so much time in a day, but there's such a thing as incrementalism. You know, sometimes spending your energy and the limited time that you have, investing in training yourself, educating yourself, nourishing your mind with science, with history, with philosophy, with knowledge, good, solid, productive, wholesome knowledge. And how, by the way, how do you even know it's wholesome, productive, and nourishing? Well, you start by nourishing your spirit. You start by getting right with Yahuwah, Yahusha, by receiving the word and your redemption and salvation, and then surrendering to Yahusha and asking him to guide you and show you the way to live your life in a manner that pleases him most. And in doing so, and in nourishing your spirit every day, your soul every day, your heart every day with the word, you will have a meter that points in the right direction. You have a compass that steers you in the right direction. The breath of Yahuwah that lives inside you will keep you on the path, the straight and narrow path that leads to the narrow gates that lead to the kingdom to come. And so in doing, you'll be able to discern the type of knowledge that you need to live as an example for your people. So it might seem daunting. There's all these books I want to read. There's all these interviews I need to listen to. There's all these videos I need to watch. There's all these things I want to enrich myself with and learn and absorb and weave into the matrix of my life, the fabric of my life, so that my life is stronger, healthier, richer, more fulfilled. And importantly, so that we can also understand the future, to understand the past, to understand the future. In George Orwell's 1984, Winston, I believe it's Winston, says, or his overlords say to him, I'm a bit fuzzy now, haven't read the story in a long time. He who controls the past controls the future, and he who controls the future controls the past. But that's diabolical, because that has different connotations. But it's true in that if you at least understand the past, then you can understand the future. And you may not don't have the hubris to think you can control the future. You can only control yourself with the grace and the glory and the strength of Yahuwah, Yahusha, by being meek, by being stoic, by being disciplined, and by asking Yahuwah, Yahusha, to guide you to live your life in a manner that pleases him most, such that you can discern the righteous knowledge that you need to strengthen your mind. But what's important to know, again, is that we are not prophets. Most likely, if I'm speaking to you and you're listening to this, you're not a prophet. Very rare to find a true prophet. And by the way, let me say this. When Yahuwah, Yahusha comes again, as he surely will, here's something I can promise you. If you are saved, if you have repented, if you have come to Yahuwah, Yahusha, and asked for his salvation and received the word, and you are following his simple commandment to love Yahuwah with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, to love your fellow man as you love yourself. If you're doing that, here's the thing you can count on. Although this hallucination, this mirage, this false reality is littered with false prophets, with Pharisees, with hypocritical scribes, with fake holy men and gurus and wise men. When Yahusha comes, you will know it's Yahusha. The difficult thing for many who are not saved, the difficult thing for many who have not nourished their spirit and their soul, the difficult for many that have not surrendered to Yahuwah Yahusha will be that many will come claiming they are the Messiah, they are Hamashiach, but they will be false messiahs, false prophets, false Yahushas. But I can promise you this, if you live in Yahuwah Yahusha, if you know the way, the truth, and the life, if you are a follower of the way, if you have surrendered completely to Yahusha and asked him to guide you on how to live your life in a manner that pleases him most, there will be no mistaking when he comes. You will know it is him. The rest of the world will be fooled by the false Hamashiach, by the false Messiah. But those who are saved, those who are followers of the way, those who live in the way, the truth, and the life, you will know. It will be unmistakable. But again, this doesn't absolve us from our responsibility to live as an example for our people, to strengthen our mind, and to spend our mind understanding the world around us, this hallucination, understanding how it works, understanding societies, understanding civilizations, understanding history, understanding philosophy, understanding science, understanding innovation. And so, although it might seem daunting to learn all of these things, dedicate yourself to incrementalism. You don't need to swallow the whole elephant at once. How do you eat an elephant? In small bites. Right? So you read a page a day, read a chapter a day. But I don't have the time. You do have the time. Make the time. Here's the beautiful thing. No matter how little time you think you have, and I promise you this, I recognize the fact. I've come to an age and a place, after all I've been through, I understand how precious time is, how precious every minute is. And we don't have a lot of time. Time is our most precious commodity. But one of the good things, one of the amazing things is once you come to understand this, you will strengthen yourself, you will enrich yourself by the ideal, by the knowledge, by the concept that you can make more time. Every single one of us can wake up just a little bit earlier and use that time to nourish our mind, nourish our soul. So I wake up earlier every morning so I could do a couple of things. One of those things is ensure that every single morning, before I hit the training, before I hit the physical activity to harden and strengthen the temple that houses the Ruach, and to use that time to connect with Yahuwah Yahusha, because that's my flow state, that's my zone, that's my meditation, my rumination. While I'm training, I'm getting into flow state, I'm connecting with Yahuwah Yahusha, and I'm pondering, meditating, contemplating his words, his phrases, his parables, so I can connect with them and have understanding. And he delivers like a lightning bolt the revelations, the epiphanies, and the meaning of his words, his phrases, his stories, his teachings. The teachings of Yahusha HaMashiach, the teachings and commandments of Yahuwah, the teachings of the disciples and the apostles of Yahusha. But to get into that state, the way I prime myself, the way I nourish my spirit is every single day before I get into the gym, before I get out here to train. As I'll read 1, 2, or 3 chapters from the Bible to nourish my soul and to meditate, to ruminate, and contemplate on ideas and concepts so I can receive the revelations and epiphanies while I'm in training, while I'm in flow state, while I'm in the zone. But I will make time during the day to ensure that I'm reading, that I'm listening to a podcast, or that I'm watching a video that educates my mind, that nourishes my mind on subjects ranging from philosophy to history to science to innovation, anything to strengthen the mind. And in doing so, you'll be able to understand what lies ahead. Because as before, so will come. As has been, so will be. So we don't have to be a prophet to understand the future. As I said, we are no different. Do not fall into the trap of thinking that we are any greater, any better, any smarter, or have any more wisdom than the 36 to 38 civilizations that have come before us. And if you understand the arc of history, if you understand the civilizations of the past, if you understand our history, if you understand philosophy, if you understand science, if you understand innovation, if you read biographies, if you invest your time in nourishing the mind with not with diversions, not with mindless entertainment, not with distractions, but with knowledge that will enrich the mind, then you'll be able to live as an example for your people, so that when times get weird, when times get tough, and when we fall into the trial and tribulation that is surely to come before Yahusha returns, if we'll be able to navigate that properly, if you'll be able to navigate that properly, and live as an example for your people so they can lean on you in the tough times, in the weird times, in the times filled with doubt and insecurity, and times of trouble and desperation, times that we live in now, times of decadence, debasement, defilement, depravity, led by evil whisperers, corrupt influencers, misleaders and deceivers, haters and detractors, and psychic vampires and negative influencers, and the demons that infest this world, and Hashatan, the Lord of the Flies, the Lord of Filth, Satan, that lords over this illusion to fool you and distract you with mindless entertainment, with drugs, with alcohol, with cheap forms of celebration and revelry that leave you wanting, longing, thirsting, bereft, lonely, depressed, anxious, frustrated. If you want a way out of all of that, find Yahusha. It's as simple as looking here. This is where he lives. On your knees in repentance, come to him, ask him to save you. You will be washed over with the breath of the breath of life, the Ruach, the set-apart spirit, the breath of Yahuwah that will keep you guided on the straight and narrow path that leads to the narrow gates that lead to the kingdom to come. You will be saved, you will be strengthened, you will be fortified, you will be forgiven, and you will surrender to him. And he will guide you and show you how to live your life in a manner that pleases him most. And you will nourish your body, train it, strengthen it, eat the right foods, keep yourself strong and healthy. The hardware, the creation that Yahuwah gave you, honor him, revere him by keeping the temple strong, keeping your health sturdy, be disciplined and stoic, and live in Yahuwah Yahusha so you can live as an example for your people, and nourish the mind. Nourish the mind so your people can lean on you. If they're not doing the work, if they're not nourishing their mind, you are, so they can lean on you for help, for guidance, for direction, for advice, and for answers when times get tough, when times get weird, when times are troublesome, as we live in now and as we will surely see in the future. So let us walk tall and strong and steadfast. We will march on this narrow path, guided by Yahuwah Yahusha, as we move with grace and glory and speed, righteous in our hearts, justified, sanctified, ceaseless and relentless, unstoppable, unconquerable, undefeatable, and unassailable, as we move like a juggernaut to kingdom come.